Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into part 2 of the book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. But before we jump into these transformative habits, make sure that you have watched part 1 of this video. The link is in the description below. But if you have already watched part 1, now let's go into part 2. Just like we did in part 1, take a moment to reflect on your own life. What positive and negative habits have shaped your journey so far? And more importantly, where do you see yourself heading? With these answers in mind, get ready for a game-changing exploration of habits that can truly elevate your life. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our empowering content. Let's dive in. Picture this. A man named Richard had been stuck for years in a cycle of mediocrity. He faced failure in his relationships, career, and his health. His journey of failure was a web of struggles that seemed to multiply at every turn. At home, his relationship with his wife, Emma, had become strained over the years. The initial spark that once ignited their connection had dimmed to a mere flicker. Miscommunication, unresolved conflicts, and a growing emotional distance had become the norm. Emma, on the other hand, felt unheard and unappreciated, and she was getting tired of the marriage. Richard was so lost in the demands of his failing career that he unintentionally neglected the emotional needs of his family. The once vibrant household now echoed with the silence of unspoken grievances. Their family dinners became a routine of quiet desperation, where each member retreated into their own thoughts. Most times, Richard felt guilty and tried to start conversations with his children, but he was often met with half-hearted responses or dismissive nods. The walls of their home, that was once filled with laughter, now echoed with the emptiness of unmet expectations and unspoken words. His relationship with his children mirrored the disconnect with his wife. As they entered their teenage years, Richard found himself grappling with the challenge of understanding their evolving personalities and desires. They tried to reach out to Richard to be there for them as their dad, but he was too preoccupied with work and his own internal battles. The once close father-daughter and father-son bonds were slipping away, leaving Richard feeling like a stranger in his own home. Professionally, Richard's career had hit a plateau. He worked tirelessly, pouring his energy into a job that seemed to offer diminishing returns. The promotions he once aspired to remained elusive, and the sense of accomplishment that accompanied success was replaced by a growing frustration. The workplace, which was once a source of inspiration, had become a battleground of unfulfilled ambitions and unappreciated efforts. Richard's colleagues noticed his fading enthusiasm, and his relationships at work began to suffer. What was once a supportive team dynamic deteriorated into a culture of indifference. Richard's ideas went unheard, his contributions overlooked, and a once promising career turned into a monotonous routine of unfulfilling tasks. The vibrant, ambitious man who had entered the workforce years ago now felt like a mere fragment in the corporate machine. The toll on Richard's health was equally apparent. Stress and neglect had manifested in physical and mental symptoms. Fatigue became a constant companion, and sleepless nights were punctuated by worries about the future. As his health deteriorated, Richard found himself caught in a vicious cycle where his inability to address his well-being only exacerbated his existing problems. His once active lifestyle gave way to sedentary habits, contributing to weight gain and a decline in overall health. Aches and pains became constant reminders of the toll his neglected health was taking. Visits to doctors and specialists offered temporary relief, but failed to address the root cause of his ailments. In the midst of this downward spiral, Richard's social circle dwindled. Friends who once enjoyed his company became distant, and invitations to social events became infrequent. The energetic and sociable man became a shadow of his former self, isolated in the cocoon of his own struggles. As Richard faced the abyss of his failing relationships, crumbling career, and deteriorating health, he found solace in the pages of Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Little did he know that these habits would not only become a lifeline, but also a ladder to climb out of the depths of his failures. The first habit Richard learned was to be proactive. In the book, Stephen Covey talked about taking control of your life. Covey stated that highly effective people do not let external circumstances control their actions and responses to life. Most importantly, Covey talked about the ability to align your actions with your personal values. He stated that this can be done by practicing self-awareness and using proactive language to empower yourself and others around you. This first habit struck a chord with Richard. Instead of blaming external circumstances, he realized that he had the power to change his life by taking responsibility for his choices. In his relationships, Richard started communicating openly with his wife, expressing his feelings and actively listening to hers. This proactive approach began to mend the cracks in their marriage. At work, Richard stopped waiting for opportunities to come to him and started taking the initiative. He set clear goals and actively pursued them, earning the respect of his colleagues and superiors. This newfound proactivity extended to his health as well. Richard took charge of his well-being, adopting a healthier lifestyle and consulting professionals to address his health issues. The second habit Richard learned was to begin with the end in mind. Covey urges you to envision your ultimate vision for your desired destination before you start your journey. It's like having a roadmap for your life. He encourages you to have a personal mission statement and core values that you live your life from. This second habit encouraged Richard to envision the life he truly desired. Richard took time away from home, and everyone he spent 2 days thinking of his values, his aspirations, and his long-term goals. When he came back, he enlightened his wife on the habits he learned from the book and encouraged her to read the book as well. When she did, she also learned a lot of life-changing lessons. And together, Richard and his wife collaboratively created a vision for their family, fostering a sense of unity and purpose. Also at work, he aligned his career goals with his personal values, leading to a more meaningful and satisfying professional life. The third habit Richard learned was to put first things first. Covey introduces a time management matrix that revolutionized how you approached your tasks. The matrix categorizes your tasks into 4 quadrants, and these quadrants are based on your urgency and importance. Covey stated that highly effective people spend most of their time with activities that fall in the quadrant that deals with personal development, long-term planning, and relationship building. Covey stated that focusing on this quadrant will help reduce stress, increase productivity, and have work-life balance. With a clear vision in mind, the third habit encouraged Richard to prioritize tasks based on importance rather than urgency. In his relationships, quality time with family became a priority. Richard set aside dedicated moments for bonding with his children and strengthening his connection with his wife. The result of this action led to increased love and laughter in the home. Professionally, he focused on high-priority projects, achieving greater productivity and success. The fourth habit that Richard learned was to think win-win. Covey introduces a way of thinking that focuses on mutual beneficial solutions in any situation. Also a way of thinking that fosters cooperation, synergy, and collaboration, rather than competition, which leads to a win-lose situation. This thinking also encourages you to adopt an abundance mindset rather than the common scarcity thinking mindset. The fourth habit helped transform Richard's relationships both at home and at work. He cultivated a mindset of mutual benefit, seeking solutions that would satisfy everyone involved. Richard and his wife learned to compromise, finding common ground that enhanced their marriage. In the workplace, he fostered a collaborative environment, leading to improved teamwork and collective success. The fifth habit that Richard learned was to seek first to understand than to be understood. Here, Covey focused on how important communication is when building healthy relationships. Covey stressed that to have effective communication with people, you have to be an active and empathetic listener. Active and empathetic listening when communicating with people will help you understand their concerns and needs. This will in turn lead to having fulfilling relationships where the people around you feel understood. This fifth habit revolutionized Richard's communication skills. He became a patient listener, genuinely understanding others before expressing his own thoughts. Richard learned to actively and empathetically listen to his wife by asking her questions and by acknowledging her emotions and watching her body language when she speaks. He also learned how to be more interested in his wife and co-workers than impressing them. He also learned how to make people feel valuable. This newfound empathy strengthened his relationships, earning him the trust of his family and colleagues alike. Richard's ability to connect with people on a deeper level positively impacted both his personal and professional life. The sixth habit that Richard learned was Synergize. Covey stated that Synergize is about the magic that happens when we collaborate and combine our strengths to create something greater than the sum of its parts. This happens when you value the differences in others and seek for different perspectives when generating innovative solutions. The sixth habit helped Richard to discover the power of collaboration. In his relationships, he and his wife synergized their efforts to create a harmonious home environment. At work, Richard fostered a culture of collaboration where diverse perspectives were valued, leading to innovative solutions and increased success. The seventh and final habit Richard learned was to sharpen the soul. This focuses on personal and self-renewal. Covey compares your well-being to a saw that gets dull over time due to repeated use and requires regular sharpening for optimal performance. Covey emphasized that effective individuals invest time to grow their spiritual, mental, physical, and social life. This final habit helped Richard realize that to be effective in all areas of his life, he needed to take care of his physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Regular exercise, continued learning, and moments of reflection became integral parts of his routine, contributing to a healthier, more balanced life. Through the application of these 7 habits, Richard's life underwent a remarkable transformation. His relationships flourished, his career soared to new heights, and his health improved significantly. The man who was once on the verge of despair had become a beacon of inspiration for those seeking positive change. At the end of that year, Richard reflected on his journey. He couldn't help but marvel at the profound impact Stephen Covey's teachings had on his life in just 1 year. The 7 habits had not only given him the tools to turn his life around, but had also instilled in him a sense of purpose and fulfillment that would guide him for years to come. And so, the once unsuccessful man became a living testament to the transformative power of effective habits, proving that it's never too late to rewrite the story of one's life. Now it's your turn. Which habit resonates with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this journey through the 7 habits inspiring, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the link below to watch a webinar to learn more about increasing productivity. Until next time, remember, success is not a destination, it's a journey shaped by the habits you cultivate. Stay awesome.